XRP Rippers, Rob, Mario, Mo, thank you so much for tuning in. I know normally we just do the midday market report around this time, but as I've always said, sometimes it must be interrupted, and I'll still go through some of the midday market report as we get through farther into this live, but sometimes you must circumvent it to bring some of what's going on. So please make sure to hit that like button. This is one of the most important ones, to hit that like button and to share this on social media so that we can get more people into this beautiful community and we can get everybody on the same page, because a lot of what we've talked about is starting to play out. We even got that liquidity grab, or the building of pressure down to the bottom of the descending channel that I talked about. Even though we got a fake out to the top side, which did make some people a little uncomfortable, thinking maybe it might not fill out our prophecy. Juan, welcome in. Messi, good afternoon. Matt, ATK, Sam, welcome in. Mark Caston, good afternoon. But what ended up happening was it was a fake article, but like we talked about, that was the perfect way to guarantee us the liquidity to come down to fill that descending channel out. We came down to the 200-day and the 4-hourly exactly like we were supposed to. Now we're well over that 633 support that I wanted to see on a daily close today. If we can get over 663, we're right back on the right side of town, and we got some promising momentum ahead of us. But let me timestamp this real quick. Good mid-afternoon, 2:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Wednesday, November 15th, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan, and we got a 60-degree day almost here today. Beautiful outside. My hair, some people laughed yesterday, but I haven't cut my hair in a while. I said at the beginning, about 5 months ago, I said I wouldn't cut my hair until XRP got to $1, and I said it's going to get pretty long, ladies and gentlemen. You see what I'm saying? So I'm in it to win it, but I'm also going to show you guys how long it takes. So, and then some people say, well, Tom, you know, you should be feeling very blessed because you're 40 and you still got a head of hair like that. And I'd say you're right, except I'll be 40 in a month. But yeah, I am 40 for all intents and purposes. But aside from that, and there's my birthday sister, Tanya, in the house. Her birthday's coming up as well. She's just a little bit younger than I, but a little wiser than me. Welcome in, Tanya. Brandon, good afternoon. We are looking, I don't want to say super, super bullish, but we're definitely looking more bullish right now than we did. The only problem is, don't jump ahead of yourselves. Let's make sure XRP does what Bitcoin does. And we still have to pass this key, I can't even explain it. Say it with me, the key level right here, because this, all it's done is we've had a bearish cross. We've held the 200, and now on a typical downward play, you would get rejected at this level if it's bearish. Now, as we talked about yesterday, it looks like a bull flag may play out here, which it's starting to now. On that drop, it put in a bull flag, which we knew it was going to get up to at least the downtrending part of this resistance on the channel, but it came exactly where we needed to on the dump down. This top side liquidity, like we talked about, I think it was 2 days ago. No, when was that drop? Not yesterday, the day before. So 48 hours ago, we talked about, well, it's a give and take for the ones who say you wish you had hair like me. It's a give and take. See, the Lord may have gave me hair like this, but he only gave me one eye to see out of. So if you have two good working eyes, my left eye I can't see out of. I can only see blur. I have what's called keratoconus, and I had it in both eyes, but for some reason it never progressed in my right eye, and now they can't even detect it in the right eye. So I have a thinning of the cornea, so I can't see anything but blur because there's so much scar tissue over my eyes. So see, you can even have the full head of hair or both eyes, like I always tell everybody. Like my brother's always like, you're so lucky, because he's losing his hair like my dad. Old Vincenzo's gold crypto investing. But he can see out of both eyes, so I take the 2 eyes over the hair every day and twice on Sunday. But that's just me. So anyhow, XRP though, we had this nice liquidity grab, and it was a crazy grab because we got all this topside liquidity. It allowed us to guarantee the move down. I already warned everybody before this even happened that we were going to have the move from up here down. It was just, we didn't know how much manipulation would happen in between. Couldn't have expected that. Nobody could have. But the charts told us that was a fake out. Some people were saying, well, why didn't the charts predict the move? Oh, it did. It did. It told you not to pay attention to that fake out to the top side and stay on course. That's what it was telling us until we got the liquidity pull. And I wanted it right here, but who cares? It hit right here instead of here. It still came down to the bottom of the channel and held. That's the point. We've now done what we needed to do on the 4 hourly. If you come down into the 3 hourly, you can start to see a little bit of how it's shaping up. The 2 hourly, we're not able to break over yet and hold on the 3 or 4, but now look at the 2 hourly. The 2 hourly is your first sign you're starting to break out. If we can close this 2 hour candle over 64 cents, actually it's a little bit higher, over 641, we've now had our first candle close over the 20-day to start possibly having a pattern reversal here. You need to have that first closure over the 2 hour. That's your first more permanent time frame that can help print into the 4 hour, then the daily, then the weekly. So right now our goal, and I believe it would be at 4 o'clock, our goal right now, no. What am I talking about? It's 3 o'clock because the last candle closed at 1. It's 3 o'clock. So in 15 minutes, I don't know why I said 4 o'clock. 15 minutes, this should be closing the candle. Let me go back on the other. Actually, you know what? Let me make sure. I just want to make sure I'm not an idiot. Okay, it is on the 2 hourly. Yeah, so we're looking to close this 2 hour candle right now to show our first sign of a pattern reversal. This would be huge. This would be huge. This is your first step of reversing course right now. A close over 641 in this 2 hourly, so 15 minutes. We'll be on here in 15 minutes. So we're going to watch this together. This is exciting times. What was the emergency? What was the emergency? Can I get through what I'm saying? The emergency is seeing what's even going on. The emergency, though, is what BlackRock said. This is the emergency and why crypto could turn extremely bullish on this, on what's happening right here. But I need to get through what I'm saying to get to the emergency. But do you want to know what the charts look like, my friend, or do you just want to know what BlackRock is saying? Do you want to know why they're moving up like this? Or do you want to see where the potential is or what you need to know to stay bullish? I think the emergency is the fact that it looked very bearish and it reversed back up now. And now we could, for the first time in the 2 hourly in 15 minutes, you could signal a pattern reversal, at least get the verification or validation. No, that was actually a good question. I'm just trying to be as open as I can, like why we need to go through all the steps. Don't be sorry. Storm, don't be sorry, my friend. I'm glad you asked the question because it helped me like, I don't know how to say it, but it helped me like paint a picture more of why I need to do what I'm doing right now. Sam, thank you so much for the $19.99 donation. I can't even believe anybody sent that already. I don't think I've even talked about anything. Like, thank you so much. Like, that was seriously very generous. Stephanie, you might be the most dedicated. I agree with you. The only thing I don't agree with you is saying you might be the most dedicated. The only reason I say that is since March 31st of 21, I've never missed a day and I put out over 4,000 videos. That is not a flex. That's the truth. And some people call me crazy and say I put out too much content because I don't charge for it. I say, though, how is somebody going to find you if you're trying to do something special, if you're not putting out all the content for the community? See, 4,000 videos. You know, and it's paid off because we're over 18,900 subscribers. We're less than 100 subscribers away than 19,000. Thank you all so much. If there is an emergency, check XRP price. Morning, Tom. Morning, Steve. Yes, Mo, dedication indeed. Something is happening indeed, Matt. It is. And the XRP price, this is what we're talking about right now, my friend, who said to check the XRP price. My friend, that's exactly what we're doing right now. Let's all get on the same brainwave. See? Let's all start talking in the same frequency. If we all start talking in the same frequency, this is going to go a lot. We're going to learn a lot more together. I like the comments because I like when people talk, tell me what's going on, see what they're seeing. I want to know what you're seeing in this. Right now we can... Another donation. Wow. OMC, thank you so much. Tom, thanks for the dedication for my friend. OMC, thank you so much for the $10 donation. And that's extremely generous because you're in month 1 of Tom's army as well. I can see because you have me being abducted by aliens. Oh, yes. And somebody who was a fan of mine, she made me that. She didn't ask for anything. She wouldn't take anything. And it was generous. So I used it as my emoji badge for month 1, and it'll stay like that for the end of times. And she actually superimposed my face on there. So that person is me. It's me. I'm famous. I'm famous within an emoji. So this falling channel, the descending channel, falling channel, I don't care how you call it. We came down here, we touched it, and the important part of this, everybody, and we're going to work out now. I'm going to work out into the news, why it's so important to watch right now, why, with the emergency. XRP bounced off the 200-day. We had the liquidity grab. I know it looked very bearish, and after this happened, I know a lot of people were probably like, oh my God, Tom's lost his mind. He's saying it's going down on an imminent 9% drop, and then it gets manipulated up 75. Oh my God, we missed out. I mean, we're already invested, so you can't miss out. But what I was saying is we needed that liquidity grab. It don't matter what it does here. When you need liquidity, it can do whatever it wants. These are the fake outs to grab liquidity. They ended up putting a fake news story in to trick everybody into buying so they could get the topside liquidity. You guessed it, like we were saying on when it was in the process of happening, that we still needed to come down here. We got the topside liquidity. It guaranteed our move down. Now they got to liquidate the longs and the shorts in one swear in a swift swoop in 24 hours. The market manipulators love, oh man, they love this. But we already knew what was happening. We have the falling channel. We determined that before the move up. That's why I knew we had an imminent drop. I measured it out to 597. Actually, it was, yeah, 597 right here. But we put 593 because that's where it actually hit. But 597 is where we anticipated back here. But what happened, it had this fake out, so it took just a few more candles in the 4-hourly to come down. Still made the exact same move we were anticipating. I want to see what was that another donation? There is no way there's already been 3 donations in this live. That's incredibly generous. Wow. 162 people in here. I think the likes need to come up just a little bit, but who am I to say since people are donating? Normally I would just say if you don't want to hit the like button, you can send a YouTube super chat or join Tom's Army. But I can't say that right now because now Jeffrey donated $10 and he's been in Tom's Army for 5 or 6 months already. Or 4 months now. That's the XRP meteor coming down to Earth. I love that one. Love that emoji badge. Thank you so much for the $10 donation. But please hit that like button if you want more people to reach this beautiful community and be able to stay in front of the charts. The charts will tell us when something big's happening. That fake out, it wasn't in the chart. It really wasn't. It was not in the charts. We going back down to 50 to 60 cent XRP Prosperity Fund. Excellent question. Excellent question. Our first way of knowing this answer, what you're asking me, is in the 2-hour time frame. And another one rocking XRP Painter laughed my ass off. $5 for you as well. And you're in month 2 of Tom's Army. You have the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News as your emoji badge. Tanya, welcome in, love. And you've been in Tom's Army for over a year because you have the I Told You So moon badge. That's over 1 year in Tom's Army. That's the 12-month badge. Look at all these dedicated people in here. This is incredible. Juan says, I think most of the time technical indicators show what the price is going and news just appears out of nowhere. But be careful with the technical indicators as well if you're talking about like outside of creating your own formations. Most technical indicators are lagging. So when it showed you a death cross, probably time to retest it and go to the top side. When the golden cross happens, we all know what happens. It comes back down and retests it for several weeks, if not more, if it's in the weekly. And then you can play off it. But they always go for the liquidity. That's the truth. Have to recap, Tom was at the gym. Okay. Jose's also been in Tom's Army for over a year. Look at everybody showing up today. How awesome is this? You're welcome, Rat Rod. I think that was your name. If I said it wrong, I apologize. Rat Rody? What? Fuck. Now I have to call you Rat Rod because I can't see the rest of it. I apologize. It goes down. I'm buying 1,000 more. Never a bad idea. I told you so shirt for the day it happened. I have the I told you so shirt for the day it happened. Excellent. That's so awesome. Robbie, thank you so much for joining Tom's Army. He's in month 1, and I know that because I've been abducted by aliens again. That's me being abducted by aliens in month 1. Tom M, thank you so much for the $20 donation. Love your information. Keep it up. Wow, you guys are flabbergasting me right now. I'm not used to getting so many donations. You know, it's been a couple days since I can't say that. Somebody sent one 2 days ago. But there's always people being generous. You guys hitting the like button is a donation to me. It gets more people in here. You guys commenting is beautiful. We'll look at XLM. I'm just trying to get through this real quickly. Yeah, we're approaching 200, I see. 170. I think the most we've ever had here was 322. Hit 200 a couple times in the 3 or 4 streams ago. It happens. It happens. Every now and then. So in the 2 hour, first up, ladies and gentlemen, 7 minutes from now. So pay attention. 7 minutes from now, we're looking to close over 641. 641 in the 2 hourly would be the first sign. It'd be our first closure over the 2 hour 20-day. That's where technical traders will hide out and they could possibly start pushing out of here. So Tanya, a recap. Right now, XRP, we're looking to have a 2 hour close over 641, work our way up to 6635 by the time we get to Sunday. We need to close the daily today, and it would be a huge sign of strength, and it might be pushing it, but if we could get over 648 and get back on top in the daily, and I know it's only 4.5 hours or 4 hours and some change away, but if you see us over 648 or 648 or higher, that's a huge show of support. That would pull the daily back up after one big wick down, and it would allow us to push over the falling channel. Now, in the daily, as long as we start moving in rotation, the 2 hourly, 4 hourly, because you're going to have to move with it. So the 2 hourly, the first closure is there. Then you want to start closing over the 4 hourly for the next major one at 648. That's the importance of that. That's right in line with the daily as well. That's where we need to close over ultimately in a 4 hour stretch. The 2 hours is your first sign that we might be able to do it. Would you show an XRP analysis disregarding the 75 cents? What do you mean disregarding it? This is the analysis. I never regarded the 75 cents in my analysis. I always said it was a fake out. It was fake news. The charts didn't predict it, so it was fake. I didn't even need to know that they were going to come out with another story, even though they did and said it was fake, and BlackRock is now sending it in to the Department of Justice, whatever the hell they're sending it into. But yeah, this is not what the 75, this is, you can, okay, this is what I try to tell everybody. This, act like it didn't even, act like it didn't even happen. Our biggest concern because of that was that we weren't going to hold the descending channel or the falling channel because we had too much topside liquidity. Now that we were able to hold where we needed to, now we can simply do this. That's manipulation. You can cross this out for all I care. Just resistance, support, back to, so look, support, I'm so excited. Resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance, rejected by resistance, down to support, back to resistance. So all you're doing is filling out the channel. That's it. Whenever there's manipulation, I don't even consider it as happening. All it did was it gave us topside liquidity to bring it back down. Bobby Sosa with a $4.99 donation says the best TA, appreciate it. And that is so generous of you, as well as you have the month one emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Yes, that's my face superimposed in there, so I know it's me. A few years younger, but still just as handsome. Maybe a little less. I feel like I'm aging very gracefully. You can doubt all you want. That's the end of the run. Hey, we'll know if it's the end of the run right now. I'm not downing or counting out a breakout. I just show what can happen, and then you can base your assumptions. I'm not a financial advisor, so your emotion can say just that in your own emotional headspace. Because you don't know, nor do I. All we can do is predict the patterns and see how it plays, my friend. If you want to get on one side or the other, so be it. But when you start to let your emotions check you like that and just be blindly observant to one side, it's the same thing that happens with politics with the Democrats versus the Republicans. They're both not going to win because it's the division tactic and the central banks run the world. So you're really fighting for no reason. So stop doing that and start taking control of your own finances in future. If we get rejected at this, hell yeah, back to 55. That's the problem. This is our biggest concern. Because of that topside liquidity taking, and now it could be a Batman top. If this gets rejected here, that's what it opened the door to. You are 100% on the money. I'm serious, guys. Look where this would come down to next. 56.40. That would be your next major hit. So if we get rejected here, Prosperity Fund is on the money. And then if you lose that, you come down and fill this gap at around 52. It's a problem. That's the problem. Did he want to go in because of that? My son was outside, but he went inside because someone's working on the grass and the noise. He's very sensitive to noise. I put mine I put mine, I like to use the wick. I don't use the candle body. Nope. I need to see, if I do candle bodies and wicks, I'll have two different formations. I'll just have them both so you can see the overextension. But for these purposes, it's detrimental because it's only in the 4 hourly. If it was in the daily, I might do both. But in the 4 hourly, I never only do candle bodies. Nope. Nope. I need to see the wick so I can see the actual potential move. By just doing and because I use the Heikinashi, I can see the real move. So no. To answer that, no. I will do the candle body just as so that you'll know if it breaks out, and then the overextension would be the actual wick. But I didn't even do that in this purpose because the falling channel, it needed to come all the way down like it did to the 200. Now the 200 and the 4 hourlies moved up a little bit. So, but it needed to come down here. Prosperity Fund, the biggest donation I ever got. I want to say back in late 21, after some people made a bunch of money, somebody sent me a little bit over $200 in one shot on a live. I know for sure I've had some at $150, but the majority of the big donations are like $99 donations. But somebody sent me that when, let's just put it this way, they had 6 figures invested in 21, and they made a couple 100% because of my advice. And then on top of sending that donation, they sent me a 10-ounce silver round. So some people said it wasn't enough. I said it was way too generous. A 10-ounce silver round that still goes up in value today, that's 10 ounces of silver. And a couple $100 donation before that as well on live. And just to send it to me, I think they might have sent me 2 10 ounces now that I think about it. Yeah, I think it was 2 10-ounce silver rounds. But hey, I try to be open, so I'll tell you when people send donations. This community is crazy good. And that was back in 21, and, you know, I was definitely not anywhere where I'm near now. But yeah, no, it's generosity, but that's why I always say the pay it forward mentality. I just like to, I just like the pay it forward mentality. I'll never tell somebody they have to pay me for anything I do ever. The news right now, I'm actually going to get into the actual news. I've been waiting until 3 o'clock to see where this daily close was before I had lost this train of thought. If you guys are wondering, and if you have cannabis, join me. It's legal where I live in Michigan. You can go into a dispensary without a card. You know, it's not frowned upon here. But this is my own personal stuff. I grew outside in my backyard. I only had 2 plants, but I topped it so many times that I got 11 ounces. I know it's crazy, but that's what happens when you grow it outside, and that was still underachieving. But we closed the 2 hourly. Where was that 2 hour candle at? Let me, whoops, I didn't mean to close that out. So the 2 hour candle, we opened at 63847. The high was 6468. We closed at 6459. We closed well over, everybody. So this is a good sign. Only in the 2 hour though. Right now we finally got our first candle close. That was well, it technically is not over yet, but we're starting this candle above the 641. So let's see how this materializes in the next 2 hours. If now we can come over 684 and have a close in the 4 hourly, we could have something brewing here. We just need to fill this out and not break down here. We just don't have any real volume coming in. We need a candle spike. We need a spike. We need a spike. Doing a hydro run next. Gonna do Hindu. Ooh, that sounds spectacular. I wish I could try that with you. I just drew some straight Kush. Some of the most potent, but also one of the heaviest gainers when you grow it outside. So I went with real Kush. Had these for a few years, and yeah. Believe it or not, Jeffrey, I've had somebody actually send it to me in the mail. I was stunned when it showed up at my house. Stunned. Only one person's done that. That was some balls, but they did it. I don't know where they live. I don't know how they did it, but it showed up at my house. Sure as shit. $200 people in here. Can you please make sure, if you're watching, to hit that, or 192 people, can you please hit that like button to help push this through this beautiful algorithm in the analytics? The more people that hit that like and share button, the more active discussion we can have, and the more people that'll be in here. So the 2 hourly has closed over this first closure We at least got over that 2-hour candle above 64 cents. So that's our first sign that we could be starting a trend reversal. Now we need to get up over 684 or 648 in the 4-hour time frame. Hold that, and then we can get back on top of this pattern formation. We need to get back on top of this falling channel. It's the bottom line. Need to get back on top of the falling channel so we're not squeezed in between here at 633, which is the rising channel breakout from June of 2022. So the good thing is we're getting supported by, and I'm going to show you 3 key things right now. 3 key things right now. Ah, yes. Thank you for that. Validating the ounces. I appreciate that. So XRP, the good thing right now is Bitcoin's up 5.74% or 2,000 points. Bitcoin got its liquidity grab, ladies and gentlemen. If Bitcoin breaks and holds 38,000 or 37,000, I'm moving it up. Our technical target was already met. Now it's the rebrand up. So this is what I mean. Our technical target was right here at 37,869, which we hit. We had a wick over the top at 38,000. Now in order to confirm this breakout, you could get a rejection below that, but get on top of 38,000. We're off to the races, and we know our next target, immediate target's 39,852. And then it gets crazy if we can break that, but I'm not going to dream here. But as I said before, Bitcoin was ultra bullish because it followed exactly what we knew. Broadening wedge, despite most market influencers were thinking it was, actually everybody thought it was a bull flag that broke. Told everybody from the beginning it's a broadening wedge. It's very hard to determine, but you only need 2 hits on each side. So once you get that, and I was judging it in the daily, this is the 4-hourly, you can clearly see where it's hitting. Then we got a rejection. The technical breakdown was 25,194, which we already had measured out. I didn't know it was going to fall in that exact spot. It just happened to make me look really good, which happens from time to time. And then it held the 25,194, came back on top of the broadening wedge, came back up through the multi-year trend line, the uptrending support / resistance. Whenever it would hit it, you get a nice bounce up on the top side. If it gets rejected at it, you get a nice flush, and then sometimes an extreme flush. And now that we held the broadening wedge, we filled out the technical target we had on here at 37,869. Got some reconsolidation. Now we need to break over the pattern high, the swing high here at 37,999. So you break and hold 38,000. Your next target's 39,852 approximately. And this will move quick. These are quick moves. These are not slow. And I always tell everybody, just pay attention to what's being put out here. That's it. So now with XRP, we're looking to try to follow. You're going to also see a move by Ethereum up 3.76% or 75 bucks. And I'll show you why. And again, I always talk about this with Ethereum. Sometimes during live when people ask, I talk about this. The 3 points it would have to hit to confirm the pattern. One, and I front ran it. The third point wasn't even up there. 1, 2, 3 for resistance. And if you break out, that's your technical move all the way up to 3,452. Crazy, I know. But you got to make the same move up that you would have made down. So that's what could be in store here, especially if we get some crazy news. So, but that's either the third hit of resistance or you're going to break out and try to pull up. Wow, I can't believe it actually hit it perfectly where I lined it up. See? That's why it's good to stay out ahead. And I don't talk about everything else all the time, but it's there. All you have to do is come watch the lives at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time when I go through all of crypto. Mostly XRP for 90% of it. Yeah, about 80% of it, but I've started to dictate towards other crypto so everybody can see, especially what we own. The ISO and the Internet of Things tokens are well on my list, and it's well in our portfolio, and we're doing fantastic. So this is the major news and the emergency reason why we needed to all come on, get on the same page, and then go through this together. Yes or no, are we all on the same page? That's all I want to know. Are we on the same page, yes or no? That's it. I want 10 people to say yes or no. I don't think that's a lot to ask out of 198 people. I just want to see yes or no. Do we know what we're doing? Plus, it bought me some time. Oh, wow, that was quick. Yes, 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 sir, yes. Hey, that's beautiful. Thank you so much, everybody. All right, now I know we're on the same page. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate everybody being here, too. To be here middle of the workday, especially in the USA, it's only 3:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. To have 201 people in here, it's an honor and a privilege to be here with each and every one of you. And remember, if you want to see a more in-depth breakdown, even more than this, when we do our actual crypto breakdown, come back at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come back at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and continue this. I'm not done yet by a long shot. I'm just saying. So this is the big story today. And this is exactly why Bitcoin and everything else is starting to move. BlackRock tells SEC. Has anybody heard this story, by the way? I'm just curious. Who's heard this? BlackRock tells SEC it must approve spot Bitcoin ETFs or spot crypto ETFs given precedent. The SEC has stalled on approving the spot crypto products, though many analysts believe an approval is imminent. The world's largest asset manager, BlackRock, has pointed out the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, must approve spot exchange traded funds, ETFs, due to previous approvals of ETFs featuring crypto futures. And that's the BITSO, the BITSO. I talked about this when they first did it. That opened the door. Even though we were a few years away, now that few years is coming to fruition here. That was mid-22 when they did that. It's time, ladies and gentlemen. The closer we get to 24, and we're about as close as you can get, we're beating down the door now. It's almost time to eat turkey. It's almost turkey day. The Wall Street asset manager said that the markets regulator, which is notoriously skeptical of the crypto industry, should not treat spot crypto ETFs and crypto futures ETFs differently, given that the commission has approved ETF that offer exposure to Ethereum futures, which themselves are priced based on the underlying spot Ethereum market. That's the other side of this. The sponsor believes that the commission must also approve ETPs that offer exposure to spot Ethereum, BlackRock said, in its application for the spot product. The SEC has stalled on approving the funds which provide indirect exposure to crypto assets like Ethereum and Bitcoin, though many analysts believe an approval is imminent and will bring increased capital inflows to Bitcoin and crypto markets. In particular, the SEC has previously said that the crypto futures ETFs are markedly different from spot crypto ETFs due to the different regulations governing each. The former falls under a 1940 Act and the latter a 1930. Do you realize this would be like 25 trillion coming into crypto if this ever happened? That would set this whole thing in motion. If this ever goes through with all of these ETFs and they finally do it, there's so much money there's $25 trillion BlackRock is estimated to be able to bring into this. 25, that's not going all into crypto, remember though. Everybody thinks it would just bring the market cap to 25 trillion. You're wrong. Most of it would go into the stock market, but you better believe a lot of it, there would be a lot more than there was going into crypto. So BlackRock said that the 1940 Act contains certain restrictions on ETFs and ETF sponsors, not digital assets themselves, making it not germane to the subject. When it comes to data sport, who gives a lot of? Notably, none of the restrictions address an ETF's underlying assets, whether ETH futures or spot Ethereum, or markets from which such assets pricing is derived, whether the CME Ethereum futures market or spot Ethereum markets, BlackRock said. As a result, the sponsor believes that the distinction between registration of Ethereum futures ETFs under the 1940 Act and the registration of spot Ethereum ETPs under the 1933 Act is one without a difference in the context of Ethereum-based ETP proposals, BlackRock added. With 9.42 trillion, and this is just for the ETF side of town, ladies and gentlemen. Think about this. But just think about all the exposure it could give you. With 9.42 trillion in assets under its management, BlackRock is among the most significant firms with a pending application for a spot crypto ETF. Top ETF analyst James Seifert and Eric Balchunas from Bloomberg believe there's a 90% likelihood that the SEC will be approved, or the SEC will approve a fund before January 10th. 90%, they say. Maybe it'll take a little longer than January 10th. I don't like those odds when Bloomberg say it. Maybe it'll come sooner than that then. They're saying before January 10th. So we're probably not going to get anything until after January 10th, if I'm reading this right. But it's early 24 like we talked about. Last month, a former BlackRock official told audiences that if the SEC approves BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF application, it could bring $200 billion to Bitcoin markets. I mean, that's right off the top, $200 billion. That's a nice chunk of change, is it not? Just to the Bitcoin markets. Instead of completely rejecting the whole list, they've asked for comments which is a marginal but significant improvement in the dialogue. Stephen Schoenfield, the former managing director at BlackRock, said. Schoenfield, however, did not believe the SEC would pick BlackRock as the first winner of a green light from the regulator. So consider that. But that's the story that is causing, that's what's coming around, causing everybody to get excited. Now everybody's got it in their head that there's no way they can reject it and it's imminent. We'll see how quick it happens, but something's going on behind the scenes. Bitcoin didn't just come up 6% or 2,100 points after completely liquidating everybody less than 24 hours ago. This is a pattern reversal. Look at that. That's a long leg doji. That's a significant reversal. Man, that's a monumental reversal. If this closes, if somehow, some way this closes over 38,000, look the fuck out, or look the hell out. So what do we think about that? Do we think they're blowing smoke, or is there a reason why they're liquidating everybody, both sides? Are they getting ready for something huge? Yes, please remember to hit that like button. 210 people watching, which is extremely, unbelievably awesome. 170 likes. All right, Charlie, that's the back of my mind as well if something happens. If that happened, you would get a lot of this dumping out. Hopefully, Miss Vicky, that would be great. That would be great. And Charlie, welcome back in. I love seeing you in here. Great to have the live at this time. It is a nice time to have the live. I usually do the midday market report around 2:30, but I had to, I'll still be on at 6:30. This is not just the only live. But most of the time I do the midday market report. I know it's not as popular, but I feel it's important to go through the market and see where everything's lining up. It helps keep us ahead. So now XLM 12121. We've got to get back on top side here. We came down to the 200-day as we anticipated. We've held now. Now we need to get a close back over the formation. This can be a very bullish move to 15,338 if we at any point find ourselves on top of 12.25. And right now we're at 12.12. That's not too far of a stretch to say we could get over there. Maybe not in today's daily candle. But once we get over there, you're looking for a big bounce up. Conversely, if you get rejected here, you got to go all the way down. So is crypto more likely on what looks like an inverted head and shoulders pattern? Is it more likely showing these formations to come down, or is it more likely to go up and retest that 15,338? I mean, we could even say, you see how we got the fake outs there, and that's the problem. That's what hurts everything. I'm not even counting that motion. I'm waiting to see what it does right now. I beg to differ. I enjoy midday market report as I listen while eating lunch. I appreciate that, Noah. Oh, I maybe I said it wrong. It's not that people don't enjoy it. I'm just saying it's not as popular as when I do XRP. It's come a long way. There was only about 350 to 400 views when I first started doing it. Yesterday I had like 800 on the midday market report. Compared to if I do XRP, you see there's 200 people in here. If I was doing the midday market report, we'd have 70, which is still a ton of people. So that's XLM. XDC is up 2.72% to 0.52. XDC is on the right side of town here, ladies and gentlemen. Right side of town. We might have to come back down and retest, but as long as we don't give back that descending formation, and it just sucks that we had that move like that. You guys don't understand how how ill-timed for end of October when XDC did this. Look how ill-timed that is. That basically gives you a double top formation without anybody even seeing it. Now we got to try to work back through it. Now we work back through it. So, but it really, when you get, it's such liquidity grabs. You kill so much liquidity for a topside run just to come right back down. And XDC synonymous for the trading bots, synonymous. 4 hourly looking good on this candle. Having a nice breakout candle. Now our job is to get over the 20-day and work our way up towards 575. So let's close. Even if we don't close the candle much higher, let's just start getting on top of not just 5.3, but on top of 5.35 and start pushing out here. We've got, I want to read what Proceed said. He said he was proud. DGB's up 4.33% or 0.00034 cents. We're having that breakout we talked about. Once we held down there, we knew it's in motion. We held 747 on the quick wick. We've now held 807 on what looks like the start of a V-shaped recovery. And then it's on and over up to 953 unless we get a double top up at the top. But if we clear that pattern high, the swing high, 953, and then what I've been waiting for is a push up to that 1079 ultimately. You could get rejected at 953 though. Let's just pay attention. So proud to see how your channel is growing. Tom, I said a few years ago to you, I said to you, the cream always rises to the top. Good on you, buddy. You did say that, and I remember that analogy. I remember when you said that. That was 21. That was in the bear market, like the start of it, like going from bull to bear. So that's that. Yep, DGB. We'll look at algo next after HBAR. XRP, Ricky, Ripple, Flare. Oh, he didn't say Flare. He just sent it over. It was over the Flare. But Flare we also bought together as a community at 008 something. Hedera Hashgraph. We're looking at that after. But thank you for the $19.99 donation. I greatly appreciate that. XRP, Ricky. That was very generous of you. HBAR, as we've anticipated. Remember the move, guys? Remember how I put that up there so everybody could see the move, the retrace, and then the push up? I mean, you think we know what we're talking about? Not just me, but everybody in here. You think the community knows what it's talking about? I don't have to show this and say that I do this all the time. So I just put the chart down so you guys could follow it. So I wouldn't have to keep saying the same thing over and over. That was my best interpretation of what was about to happen. So far, so good, right? Doing exactly what it needs to do. So what we're looking for now, that we've got a hold here at 573. Now our next goal is to get up here and try to get over 668. Whether it's a rejection and finishes out this rounding bottom, which I highly doubt. There's a gigantic W reversal. And now you've built the cup and handle on the first layer. I'll just show everybody what I mean. First layer cup and handle. Ends up building the bullish handle on that first layer. Now I can do it unified. We've also got this big W reversal. Now you've held that. I mean, if it does do that and we break out here, you're looking at a nice move. All we had to do was hold this, remember? Held it, boom. Held it, boom. That's what we need to do. So, bam, bam, bam. Just got to get through this in a very quick way. I've been pushing my time here for the mid-afternoon. Up 6.17% on Flare. Sitting at about over 11, or over 1.1 now, 1.135. So this is where we're at in every single pattern. We can have a death cross that could form if we get rejected at these levels right now. That's the most overriding thing on a lot of these. You would have a big downward. We need to break up. Flare needs to not only hold this level, it needs to get back up over 12.44 to continue this rotation. Otherwise, you can come crashing down on a lot of these. They're all looking the same. Just getting over the 200-day right now, but it's not out of the woods until you get over and hold at about 3526 for Casper. Otherwise, it got rejected right where we put it. Remember, we wanted to buy the rotation. Does anybody remember? And I said I wouldn't buy once it broke over because it's going to make its rally up. And then either it breaks up here and continues on, or this would be the first point of rejection. I don't even need to, if we just take pictures of this, you guys can watch it in between. We were buying in the rotation. This has been up here, every single one of these. And now it just, I'm so proud to see how it's moving. Everything's moving exactly like it should. ZIL, we talked about. ZIL was behind V-Chain when it was down here. Now it's making the move. It's starting to break out. It was a 55% chance to ride it down and then break it out. And the only reason for that is because it started a rising channel and it could pull back down and end up hitting this first before breaking out. But right now we're still on the top side of it. So, you know, it's not looking terrible. V-Chain is at up 5.52% or 2185. V-Chain front ran it and remember, broke out of the bull flag. Next target, right up there. That's all we had. We just needed to break out of the bull flag, which we did. And we already knew it was going up there. We have a massive reversal. We break out of a formation. You know the levels it goes by. And now that has to be the next point of resistance. Kryptonian, welcome in. So, what I say is you can pay somebody to do all this, or you can just watch me for free and then pay it forward as you go. That's why it's so important to have people send YouTube super chats. So important for people in Tom's Army. It makes me feel appreciated despite, you know, in an over and above way. We talked about how we weren't buying algo once it broke this formation because it would be a quick run up and we didn't want to buy it over 10 cents. We wanted to buy it on the rotation down. And we were right at about 10, maybe a little over when we first started because it had some rotational tugs up at 10.5. But we stayed within this rotation and now it's come up. This is that rising channel. If it hits this and falls, you would come all the way down here. If it holds this, you should, at some point, and it's crazy, but at some point, this has to rally to 27 cents. It's been beaten down so much. It was such a great buy. We bought over 7,800 tokens, just around 10 cents in the community. That's a 40% rise already. And we did it together. That's what I'm proud of. You know, anybody who's a fan of Doge even, Julie's got over 10,000 tokens. She bought it at 0.0000 and some change. 50 bucks made over $1,000 for the Saturday Night Live debacle. I sold it out for her and bought it back in at just over 5 cents. Now she's got it back, got to keep 80% of her profits, bought it right back at 5 cents, and now she's on and up. She's up over 20% already again, even though she was one of the people who made thousands and thousands of percent. And Doge right now is looking to break out. It's over the top side of that very important uptrending support resistance line. That's a very important line, and the fact that it broke up instead of down, your technical target would have been on a breakout. I mean, it's not that. That's why we have to be careful. If it holds this now you can get the eternal breakout, and it's got some room. It's got some room for Doge. It really does. I mean, you won't really have anything until like it's higher than that, though. It's going to break that if it holds. So let's see if it holds that and then comes up to like 8.3 and how it reacts. But there's a lot of cool stuff happening. But now, real quick, to get through the midday market report part of this, I know everybody has probably seen everything they want to see, so I'm going to do this real quick, and then I'll see you tonight at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure to hit that like button. If you appreciate my work, please hit that subscribe button. We just went over 18,900 subscribers, and I would love to get out of the 18,000 subscriber range and be at 19,000 in the next couple weeks. We've had over 400 new subscribers in like the last probably 10 days. So I do appreciate that, everybody. Really, I do. XRP's current price is at 64.49. We're looking to close the daily time frame today over 648 to show a huge sign of strength. Over 633 is fine, but you want to get out of that little rotation. 35,000 right now for the Dow Jones. Like we said, Michael Burry made a very porous choice to go short. I told everybody when he made that $1.4 billion bet, don't follow it. It's a trap. We know we're in a broadening wedge, so there's no reason to even consider it. And now he got absolutely demolished. He had to sell his short for 40% down on 1.4 billion approximately. So you can do the math. Actually, it might have been 1.6 billion. So he rectified his great gains from before, and he basically just gave them all back to the house if you look at it that way. So his good futures trade back about a decade and a half ago just got wiped out today. That's how you need to look at it. Anybody who's happy about losing $500 to $600 million in about 2 months, that's you never futures trade in this kind of environment. And I've said it over and over again, especially with that kind of money. Don't be stupid. So resistance up here, 36,000 is where it needs to go. It's the top of the broad. I would have told him too. You can't bet on that. You're in a broadening wedge, sir. That's bullish continuation. Like, what are you doing? I said it's controlled opposition. So the way I looked at it, he's got a lot of money in stocks that exceeds 1.6 billion, believe it or not. So what happened is he probably did that on purpose, and I'll be honest, and I'm not going to go into the dangerous side. He probably did that on purpose so they could write it off this year with the futures that he lost that much, and it would work against his capital gains. That's just not his capital gains, but his taxable gains in the stock market. That's my assertion. They do this all the time, and we just got caught up in it. XRP Ricky Ripple, thank you so much for joining Tom's Army. I so appreciate that. And you are a month one joiner in Tom's Army. I know that because that's me being abducted by aliens. Axel, you almost snuck by with the $4.99 donation. I really appreciate that so much. And thank you everybody for paying it forward on this live. You guys are so incredible. So if you've never watched the Midday Market Report, this is what you get, and I'm just going to do it real quick, give you a synopsis. W reversal, we call this, it held to 33,906, even held the pivot point down here, put in a bullish Gartley, and now we know. It's coming up here. I don't really think there's anything stopping us from hitting 36,000. I've seen stranger things happen, but we've got eyes for 36,000 and then more probably. If we break the broadening wedge, it might go up to 40K. And we're at the end of a season. As I said, you never bet short in the markets as well, especially in the stock market. At the end of the year, mid to end of year, you never do it leading into Q3 and end of year because all of the bigwigs Their bonuses are earned based on end of year stock price and the Q3 earnings. Tom, you think we go down to retest the 58? The only way you go down to 58 is if you close back below 633. This proves in the 4-hour time frame you're going to go through a death cross here and continue down. But you could very easily go down there, but you'd have to get a rejection of the falling channel at about 648. If you get rejected at 648, you could. If you lose 633, that would be the next logical target around 58 cents, 586, I should say. We've got the US dollar just retracing some baby steps. It's a big bear flag. Don't look at this any other way except to retest at 104.72. If it gets rejected there, big drop. Big drop. US dollar could be going to die here. It's already confirmed a pattern reversal. We knew that when it broke the rising channel. You very well could be coming down to retest very, very low levels. If this plays out true, just to put it in perspective, just this one drop. And it's not pretty, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're not preparing with metals, I told you metals were about to have an unexpected rally back up, even though everybody thought they were going to die. So the technical target on a breakdown is 102.893. So it continues to have big drops down. We've got the US 10-year just regaining some. Government's buying a bunch of it. So what they do every single day is they'll let it rally up a few, and then they'll just keep buying it again and force the price down. Like I said, they're not going to want to get the lowest marginal. So we come up a little bit, but now we're just trying to confirm the death cross. If that happens, we're coming likely back under 4%. I know it sounds crazy, but that is exactly what could be happening. US oil is at down 2.21% at 76.44, down $1.72 a barrel. They targeted $77 or $70 at the end of the year, so that's our target. It's our target. Government came out a few months ago, as I warned everybody. They said that they were targeting $70 end of year, which means in 24 you're going to get 123 to probably 160 barrel of oil at some point in 24. So enjoy it now. This should come down to 69.97 by the end of the year, if they get their way, and it looks like they are. Gold silver ratio is coming down because silver is exploding. And I talked about how it's always a good time to buy silver when the ratio is way up there. It's still a good time at 88 or 83 and some change to 1, but now it's reversing. Something big's happening in the metals markets. When silver starts to outperform gold, you know something big's on the horizon if it continues. Silver's up to $23.45 an ounce. It's had a big reversal, and we talked about this very transparently. It even came down to our target, took one of two ways, because that's what it could do, and it went topside. It didn't take top. The bottom side took the top side as the dollar started crashing. V-shaped recovery into an inverted head and shoulders. And now you are likely to come, well, not likely, you're coming up to 24.26. And then if you can get on top of 24.40 and rally, you got top side, could get close to 28 bucks. And then gold, 1961, down $1.42, very flat, very flat. But it's looking to do the same thing as silver, it just is a little bit behind. It needs to come back up and retest this area at 1994. But once you get over 2009, you get back into discovery up on the top side of 2075. You got to get back on top of there. And if you do what I show here, you could be going into discovery and having a huge rally. And then last but not least, B2 gold. As you know, I bought in about 3,500 at 297, not because it's guaranteed, just because I want to see the rotation. If it breaks through, I'll let everybody know, because it very well could bring us down to $2.40, and that's the best buy if it comes down there. It's just not guaranteed because you have a V-shaped recovery, and I tried to buy the inverted right arm in case there was a big catastrophic or big parabolic break here that was not seen by the eye. So we'll see what happens. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. If you got anything on this, please make sure to hit that like button. I appreciate the 25% that left during the midday market report and the 150 that left, or that stayed, because at least I know a majority of the audience actually appreciated the midday market report. Make sure to hit that like button. Continue to share this far and wide, and I appreciate each and every one of you. If you want to see more, join at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Daily Live for XRP, where we will be going very in-depth on crypto, even